Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, I am OG Truth Hurts, and here is another episode of the King's Ransom. First, before we get started, I want to make sure everybody take the time out to like me, share me, subscribe me. I could use the love. Now, today's hot topic, we're going to discuss the National Basketball Association's Atlanta Hawks, my home team. Late yesterday, the Atlanta Hawks decided to move on from head coach Nate McMillan after a 29 and 30 start, along with a pretty disappointing year last year from an expectation standpoint. And a quick first round ouster in 5 games to the Miami Heat. Now, here is the meat and the potatoes of this situation, if you will. Nate McMillan was hired by the Atlanta Hawks 2 years ago as an assistant. He wound up being Lloyd Pierce's lead assistant. Lloyd Pierce got the job in 2018, came in the doors with Trae Young and Kevin Huerter, and we were in the process of a full rebuild. So you had a rookie head coach and a full rebuild, which is a recipe for disaster in any sport. Which was expected. Lloyd struggled. He struggled his first 2 years, and he kind of struggled out the gate in year 3, which was the last year of his contract. And instead of just letting him finish out the year, the Atlanta Hawks owner, Tony Ressler, pushed the panic button. He kind of made the call, made an executive decision to remove Lloyd Pierce around this time 2 years ago. In fact, I think it was March 3rd of 2021. And Nate McMillan became interim head coach. The Hawks caught fire, made that magical run to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now it's time to decide on the permanent head coach. So instead of the Hawks doing their due diligence and carefully selecting their guy, if you will, they just went ahead on and signed Nate on to a 4-year deal. I mean, he had just made a finals run. He's a veteran head coach. All seemed to be well in Atlanta. They got Lloyd Pierce out of here. They claimed he was the problem. Remember I said that. They claimed he was the problem. Got him out of here. They welcomed Nate McMillan, Trae Young included, with open arms. Then the following year hit. A lot of COVID going on. Guys missing games due to injury. Guys missing games due to COVID protocol. Stumbled out the gate real bad. The superstar point guard comes out and says, regular season's boring. Okay, he kind of ruffled little fellas with that, but we kind of let that pass over until the playoffs. In the playoffs, nobody had a good playoffs. The Hawks just completely laid an egg. It was a total clusterfuck. Miami took us home in 5 games. And the bad thing about it, Trae Young looked bad in that series. He wasn't the only one, but he's the face of the franchise, and he looked bad. All right, new year starts. Okay, we're going to flush that. That was just an off year. We're going to flush that. We start this year out kind of up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Now here comes the drama. Apparently, before a game against the Denver Nuggets, Trae Young decided to skip the shoot around for shoulder treatment. Apparently, allegedly, a conversation took place between him and Nate McMillan. And only those two really know what was said and how it was said and how it was received. But I'm just going to give you the cut and dry version. Someone along the line had a conversation about Trae Young going to shoot around. They had a misunderstanding off of the conversation or a miscommunication or whatever, however you want to slice it. And Trae Young misses that game. Now, rumor had it that he was told to go home. Rumor had it that he just didn't show up. But behind all of this shit, it comes out that he went past Nate McMillan, of course past Travis Schlenk, because Travis Schlenk, who was promoted to president in the summer, had been demoted all the way to just a guy with a desk. In comes and enters Tony Wrestler's son, Nick Wrestler. So apparently Trae went and told somebody about his conversation with Nate McMillan, and it all blew up from there. Now the fan base split down the middle. You got anti-Nate, you got anti-Trae, and it's been a tug of war within the fan base up until today. The anti-Trae folks gonna pretty much give their reasons on why he cost us a game. The anti-Nate folks gonna pretty much give their reasons on why he cost us a game. I think we all know how this plays out. When the superstar and the head coach is not on good terms or they're at odds, usually the head coach goes. Here's the issue about him going. Rumor has it, I have to say rumor has it because I wasn't there for the conversation or alleged conversation, that Nate McMillan, midway through the season, close to midway through the season, was trying to resign from his post. It was said that management talked him into staying on his post. Again, as rumor has it, because I wasn't there for the conversation. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So trade deadline comes and goes. We make a small move, not a not a major splash. We made a couple of moves, but they were small moves. Out goes Frank Kaminsky and Justin Holiday. In comes Sadiq Bey, returning Bruno Fernando and Garrison Matthews. Then the trade deadline comes. Not the trade deadline, I'm sorry. The All-Star weekend comes, which always happens after the trade deadline, and we stumbled into the All-Star break. Now Nate McMillan is fired. Joe Prunty, his lead assistant, is now the interim head coach. Now it's the Twitter and all of the other social media outlets are just going crazy. The same thing. Nate getting ripped over here, Trey getting ripped over here. So now it's time to start thinking about who we want to bring in to ultimately replace Nate McMillan. It's safe to say it probably won't be Joe Prunty because they don't want to repeat the same pattern that they did when they replaced Lloyd Pierce with Nate McMillan by, if the Hawks catch fire and have another magical run, Eastern Conference Finals run, or even back their way into NBA Finals, safe to say they probably won't bring back Joe Prunty. They're going to go out and get their guy. Now, the top three candidates that we're hearing about coming out the gate are former Celtics head coach Ime Udoka, former Utah Jazz head coach and Hawks assistant Quinn Snyder, and another former Hawk assistant, Kenny Atkinson, former Brooklyn Nets head coach. Now, the narrative that's being pushed by a lot of our fans is we need to bring in a proven guy. Now, I just named to you the three guys who's at the top of the list. Everybody else that I've seen, mostly assistants. One of the guys' name is Lee. I can't think of his first name. So you say we got to bring in a proven guy. So what do you? First of all, what consists of proven? That's the question. First question. Okay. If you want to ride off Udoka's 1 year with Boston with a ready-made team, but nevertheless, they still made it to the NBA Finals, 2 games away from winning it all. His rookie year. Then he loses his job over a piece of ass. I'm just calling it for what it is. He loses his job over a piece of ass. And the boot, it was the wife of one of his coworkers. Well, a piece of ass was one of his coworkers as well, but it was the wife of another coworker. So he's out the door in Boston, sitting at home. That's one of the candidates that we are desiring in our fan base. The other guy, Quinn Snyder, had a pretty decent run in Utah in the regular season. He was the head coach there for 8 years. He resigned, or they mutually agreed to part ways, whatever. 6 trips to the playoffs, 3 first-round exits, 3 second-round exits. Kenny Atkinson, 3+ years in Brooklyn, 1 winning season, 1 playoff appearance, home in the first round. My fellow Hawks fans are saying we need someone proven. First of all, let's be realistic. Right now, considering what's going on with the front office and the team, and what's being reported that pretty much Trae Young has power in the decision-making ranks. You think Ime Udoka will be a good fit for us? Can't bring nobody here like that right now. It will be dumb. We need no more controversy. However it started. Now, if you can get past that, and we wind up getting a good coach after 1 year. 1 year, good coach. Okay. Quinn Snyder. Great in the regular season. Had at least 3 or 4 50 or more wins seasons. I think he finished first in the conference once or twice regular season. But each playoff trip, he was home by the end of the second round. And Kenny was terrible in Brooklyn. So terrible that basically Kyrie and KD fired him. Yeah, they mutually agreed to part ways. The coach that a lot of fans so feverishly had disdain for because their favorite player had disdain for him. In two years, 2 playoff appearances, one of them went home in the first round. That was last year. The other one, he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. In the 55-year history of the Atlanta Hawks, they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals twice. The 2014-2015 team with Mike Budenholzer, the head coach, 60-win team, they made it to the conference finals, swept by Cleveland. 2 years later, Budenholzer's out the door because he's not going to sit through a rebuild. The other coach was Nate McMillan. So you're asking the organization to get you a proven coach in here. So if I'm gonna get somebody in here, it's gonna be somebody who done at least matched what this guy has done, or better. You can get that match with Udoka, but the luggage right now is too heavy, in my opinion. If you want to go off what they've done in the past, like a lot of fans go off what Nate did in the past, even though his most recent past is a conference finals before a first round exit. But that's kind of recent history. You want to bring somebody in who has accomplished less than him. And that's your proven coach. See where I'm going with this? Three coaches in a matter of 2 years. This wasn't supposed to happen. But it did. So now we're going to wait and see. Hopefully Joe Prunty can light a fire up under these boys, and the sky's the limit. The talent is there. That's my take. That's what I got. What you got? Leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And always, when you're on the King's Ransom, when you're hearing OG speak, the OG gonna always seek and speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This is another episode of the King's Ransom.